Hello and welcome back to Mac at the Movies. Today I'm going to review for you the film adaptation of Jem and the Holograms. This film was released October 23rd, 2015 by AllSpark Pictures, as well as, and what threw me off, Blumhouse Productions. If you know anything about Blumhouse, they are typically known, to my knowledge anyway, as a production company that does a lot of work with horror films. So when I saw that pop up on here, I was like, did I put in the right movie? But yeah, I'll have to look to see if they do any other movies kind of like this one to, branch out my Blumhouse production range of films there. So but this film was directed by John M. Chu. He had also directed films such as G.I. Joe Retaliation, Now You See Me Too, as well as Crazy Rich Asians. This film stars Aubrey Peoples as Jem, Stephanie Scott as Kimber, Aurora Perrineau as Shayna, and Haley Kiyoko as Aja. Also coming to this film, a couple of big roles here. We have as Aunt Bailey, Molly Ringwald, and as Erica Raymond, Juliette Lewis. Now for that character, I honestly feel like I would have loved to have seen, like, I know it's not in the same universe or storyline, but I would have loved to have seen shoot, what is her name? Oh, this is gonna bug me. I'll come back to that. Hopefully it'll pop into my head some point in time during this review. But I feel like Juliette Lewis's character almost could have been done by another person. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit. So this film starts out as, this come together family. You have Aunt Bailey, who had pretty much adopted Kimber and Jerica, who is Jem, into their family. And I think the other two girls who were there, Aja and Shayna, I think they were also adopted in, unless they were her daughters. You don't see the father around, and Jerica and Kimber's father had passed, so that's why they're living with their aunt. But it starts out as this family unit, brought together, and everything seems to go well with them. They're all best friends in their own right. They all get on each other's nerves in their own right. But they, have this, they are this cohesive unit that just really comes together for one another. And, it tells a good story. They're always trying to empower the other one to really do the best that they can with what they have and what their abilities are. So that's one thing I like about this film. You have the character of Jem, who records a song and wanted to release it to the internet as, like this alternate persona of herself to sort of hide behind, so she could, release her stuff online, but as somebody that's not her. So the sister finds that she didn't actually delete the recording that she had done on the camera and chooses to release it to the internet, and overnight it explodes. Sort of like in Josie and the Pussycats, you had the whole, Josie getting discovered, the whole Pussycats thing going on there, and then, they get whisked away to a recording studio to play shows and to do all this stuff, to be the world's next big thing. And along the way, you start to kind of find out who these people are, and you sort of get put on this little scavenger hunt. In the film, Jem has this little robot that her dad was building before he had passed. and it sort of comes to life when they get into LA and sends them on this little scavenger hunt. It's this little robot named Synergy, a cute little thing, adorable little bugger. Um, but the dad sends them on the scavenger hunt to, you know, more or less help them not forget their past, and to help share with them things that he would have liked to have shared with if he were still alive, but knew that due to some illness that he wasn't going to make it to that time or to that moment. So he wanted to provide something that would allow them to, you know, come together this one last time and share these moments that, you know, they otherwise wouldn't have been able to. So the film kind of takes you on this little journey, and it takes you from one place to another, really kind of showing you who these people are, and what some people sort of want from you in the world. The character of Juliette Lewis, I mean, even in the beginning, she wants JEM to come play this like 3-show tour thing, because, you know, she blew up and she kind of wants to get her name out there, but JEM's very much, you know, foot down, like, I don't go unless my sisters go. They're my band. I'm not going anywhere. And so it turns into one of those things where the band comes along too, the sisters come, and you know, they play shows. It turns out very well, and then there's, you know, some financial issues that occur, and the character of Erica finds out that she can more or less take advantage of the situation and try and get JEM as a solo act, which sort of tears the band apart. This is really going to bother me. I feel like Juliette Lewis did a great job of acting like this terrible character, this big radio or record executive that, you know, just wants to make the next big thing. And, you know, they even say in the film, you know, we can just take your name and slap it on somebody else and we don't need you. So this is going to bother me. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. It was Parker Posey. I was typing in Josie and the Pussycats into the search bar, and it popped up into my head before I could even finish the word "and." So I think Parker Posey would have done great as the character that Juliette Lewis played, but I think she would have been a bit more two-faced in her manipulation. I think her character would have been more outright and outgoing, more friendly, if you will, to the character of JEM and the sisters. Whereas this character, you outright knew that, you know, she was only in it for herself, to add to her name. So I feel like, while I would have liked to have seen Parker Posey playing the character of Erica Raymond, or I mean, essentially coming back as her character from Josie and the Pussycats. I can't remember what that character's name was, and I don't want to break away again just to find out. But I think that would have been kind of fun to have her come back. But I do feel like you needed that villainess that Juliette Lewis provided. And I think she did a great job at just being this villain and seeing this, like, you had this evil side. Like, she didn't seem like a very redeemable character in this film. So I was glad to see that. You had that added storyline in this film where her and her son Rio, she was trying to really build him up to take on the company one day. But, you know, he finds out that, again, she's manipulative, she's evil. So she had her own idea of, you know, what she wanted. She wanted to continue building up her name instead of giving him what it was that he needed. So he was constantly trying to manipulate and break him down, keep him away from his all-out potential, and just doing whatever she could to benefit herself. You, you find out later that he has a bigger role in the company, and things sort of change. But with this being the film it was, you get a good happy ending. You get a good, general story altogether. I will say, rating this, it was a tough one for me. I wanted to give it a 3 because I thought it was definitely better than what everyone said it was. And I want to say I would definitely watch this movie again. After really thinking about it, and I gave it a 3. I decided I was going to give it a 3 out of 5 right after watching it. I was like, you know what, this ended good. This was a good movie. It had a good ending credit scene where you had the Misfits, and not the Danzig Misfits. You had from, if you know the JEM and the Holograms, you had the Misfits from that storyline, which I thought was great. It was a little added bonus. So you had that, which would have given it some added availability for a sequel, another storyline or something. The one thing that really dropped this movie down to a 2 out of 5 stars for me was the storyline overall. It starts out as this sort of online presence, as JEM coming to the world, letting the world know who she is. And throughout the movie, you have different moments where, big YouTube videos, squirrel jet skiing type thing, or not jet skiing, like squirrel on skis, and you had drum offs and other things like that. Like anytime there was a moment in the movie where there was a conflict, or if there was something, it would pop up a YouTube video, which I thought it took you out of the movie. I really do think that a lot of that, first off, I feel like this movie should have been PG-13, and you should have taken out all those YouTube clips of either people talking or, people having a drum off or beatboxing or something, dancing, all that stuff. I feel like the movie didn't need, and I feel like that is what made a lot of people really lose interest in this film. I think the writing could have been better with that. I think by taking a lot of that out, you could have added a little bit more to the story, especially in the beginning. I feel like with Josie and the Pussycats, it started out with, that Three Small Words song, and it kind of goes into, finding out who the Pussycats are, and getting the whole story behind all that. That I liked. I liked how this was like a YouTube pickup. She was an overnight sensation, and she got out there. I think that story should have stayed, but I think all the little clip jumps and things like that, I don't think needed to be in the movie. I feel like that could have been something that should have been in the credits, but not throughout the movie. And that's what really brought it down to a 2. While most 2s, chances are it was an all right movie, but I would never watch it again. I think this is one of those I would watch again. I have no interest in running out and buying it. If I went to my local store that was having a sidewalk sale and I got it for a quarter or something like that, I'd pick it up. But I don't think it's one that I have to run out and put in my collection or immediately buy on eBay or something like that super cheap. I don't think it was that great of a movie to warrant all that. but I definitely recommend it. It was a lot better than what I thought. Like, because everyone trashed it. Everyone thought it was a terrible movie, and just wrecked it. I thought it was pretty good, and I definitely recommend anyone out there, into those types of movies, to definitely check it out. I mean, it was pretty good, especially like if I had a daughter, I would definitely put it on for her and say, watch this. This is a good movie. It has good songs. Like the original songs that were made for the movie are good. I really liked them. It was one of those, like, I want to get, I would pick up the soundtrack. But all in all, like, I feel like the story was taken away from by a lot of the different clips and things that had happened in the film. So, maybe there'll be a sequel, and maybe the sequel will add to it or get better, but time will tell. Anyway, if you had seen this film, let me know down in the comments below. I'm distracted by an ant walking around on my phone. Don't want to kill it. Ants serve a purpose. So I will, let it keep doing its thing. But let me know down in the comments below what you thought of the film, if you liked it, or if you just all out hated it, like most people did. And if you like this video, smash that thumbs up. And if you didn't, smash that thumbs down. It's your right. Do it. Anywho, thank you for stopping by. As always, be good to one another, and I'll see you next time. Bye. All right, I'm cutting back here into this movie. I wanted to wait until the end of the review to kind of bring this up. I forgot about it when I was doing the review. I got in the motion. There was some commotion outside, and it threw me off. But one of my biggest gripes of this film, and I'm sure any musician will tell you this about any movie they watch, it's, did the actors play the instruments? When I talked earlier about Josie and the Pussycats, one thing I loved about that movie is that it seemed seamless in the sense that when they were playing their instruments, it seemed real. And that's because it was. Tara Reid, Rosaria Dawson, and Rachel Lee Cook, they learned how to play those instruments for the songs in that movie. So while they may not have been good, it still worked right. So it looked real. It looked authentic. And me as a drummer, and I don't think that I'm the best drummer in the world. I don't even think I'm the best novice drummer in the world. It's something I grew up doing and I enjoy doing. And while I'm not the best, I can definitely tell when it's being faked, especially in a movie. And it throws me off. It takes me completely out of the movie because I'm immediately calling bullcrap. Immediately. So, sorry to end this review on a bad note, but now you know. So one of the things that I kind of looked at in this film was any of the drumming, and I can typically tell, like, if guitaring, like if somebody's guitar playing skills seems a bit off or not authentic, you can usually tell. Like, I may not know the chord or the note that they're playing or what it is that they're doing specifically, but if it's off enough, I can tell. So with this, like, I don't really know much about a keytar, but it looked fun and authentic enough. I wouldn't have been able to tell right off the bat what was being done wrong. And a lot was done enough in the shadows that it was faked well. But the drums, in every sense of drum playing, it was off the entire movie. every lick of any drum that I saw was off, and that throws me off. So that was a big killer in how I rated this movie. Again, fun movie. I definitely suggest everyone out there going to check it out. And, don't let bad reviews deter you from checking out a movie, because one of my favorite movies, anyone else is going to be like, that's your favorite movie? That's your favorite movie of all time. That's what you chose. But yeah, it's my favorite movie, and it's not that popular, well-received of a movie. But, it takes me back to something in my life that, this movie could do to you. So definitely, check the movie out if you haven't seen it, like I said earlier. And, be the judge of it. What do you think of the movie? Definitely check it out. Everything I said before stands still. I don't have my clapper with me because I'm recording this separately, as I forgot to mention it during my review. So, as always, thanks for checking this out. And again, jot down in the comments below what you thought about this movie, things that you loved or hated about it, things like that. But thanks for stopping by, and as always, be good to one another, and I'll see you next time. Bye.